What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Best Bet show. As always, I'm your host, MattyChucks. Now, we will have the always on time, always cordial Austin's props for the next week. I'm actually traveling, which is why I'm doing it bright and early. I'm traveling for my 1-year wedding anniversary this week, so I'll be off the grid a little more than usual. Um, and I'll be taking a break from videos for this week, but I will be back for the week 3 NFL slate. But we're about to drive for about 6 hours, so I wanted to get this video up and running. And we're going to talk about the 49ers and Jets. And again, I know I have this overlay up for week 3. We have some technical difficulties with the dev team on our stuff over here. So bear with me for now on the overlays, but let's talk about 49ers versus Jets. Now we get Aaron Rodgers. Will he finally play more than a few snaps in a season? I hope so. The 49ers are once again Super Bowl losers. Is this their year? Every year feels like it's their year. I could not think of a better game. Now, the NFL did a great job in getting awesome primetime games for the first week. We had Ravens Chiefs to kick us off of AFC playoff matchup from last year. Then we had Eagles Packers, another great game, which was an NFC showdown. Packers were a popular dark horse, probably still are, given the Jordan Love news is not as concerning as it was indeed thought of. And the Eagles are set to rebound as well. So 2 top teams there. Then you go Sunday night, the Goff versus Stafford, Lions, Rams, 2 great offensive coaches, or I guess Sean McVay is defensive a little bit, but 2 great coaches nonetheless. A little history there. Another great game after it started off pretty poorly. And now we get the 49ers and Jets. Our friend calling our shot is in here. Austin, what's good, brother? Absolutely. Now we have a great game. And what do we do on primetime games? What happens every time? Well, let's see. In the Chiefs game, a lot of field goals. In the Packers and Eagles game, a lot of field goals. Both kickers had 2 field goals. Even yesterday, both teams had 2 field goals. It seems like primetime games, we love that we get the field goals. So what are we betting today? We're betting kicker props. I already posted Greg Zuerlein, Greg the Leg, Megatron, whatever, or Legatron, whatever you want to call him. 5.5 kicking points. That's a line you'd see if it was Zach Wilson still there. Aaron Rodgers should be able to get the ball downfield. I know it's his first game with this Jets team, but their offense is still good, in my opinion, with Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. You know, they got Mike Williams. Will he be, on a full workload? Is he going to be cautious with that ACL injury? We don't know, but we do know that Aaron Rodgers can sling the rock, right? I think 5.5 kicking points. That's 2 field goals or 3 touchdowns and a field goal, or 3 extra points and a field goal. That's there. It might have moved to 6.5 now on some books. I would assume that's probably where it should be. I think at plus money. And then also Jake Moody, we're betting his field goals, not kicking points. I don't know why I put kicking points in here. We're betting his field goals because the Jets defense was the best defense in the league last year. And we do know that the 49ers offense is outstanding. So I think they can move the ball. Maybe they'll have some red zone miscues. Is Brandon Ayuk playing a full workload? We don't know. Reports are saying no. Is that a smokescreen given the whole contract talk? I really don't know what the deal is. We're going to find out. Everyone's going to have Christian McCaffrey in their touchdown parlay. So I'm thinking, why don't we sweat out a first touchdown that we want to sweat out? I know a lot of you guys in the chat are probably wiping the eye crusties or eye boogers, whatever you guys say, off of your eyeballs right now. But there's football to be bet on, and it's another day. We had 4 days of football this week, which is a gift from Roger Goodell. The first good thing he did, even though the field sucked on Friday. Him giving us a Friday game was fantastic. No Christian McCaffrey. That does not count. Okay. But who is going to score the first touchdown and how are they going to do it? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to talk through it right now. Who do you guys think wins this game? Honestly, this game is very interesting to me. I think it's low scoring. The total says it's low scoring as well. It's at 43.5. It has the same total as basically the Steelers and Falcons game, which is weird to think about given how good these offenses are. He said first touchdown is CMC. We can't always bet CMC. Actually, I think you'd be up a lot of money if you did, but the odds just are not there. I'm trying to find the first touchdown market right here. and see if I could see what those odds are on all the books. Give me 1 second. I don't see first touchdown here. Do I? Do I? First half anytime touchdown score. No, no, no. I don't see it on here. I'm gonna try and see. I'm gonna pick a book. I say we do maybe we'll do FanDuel. Is that everyone's favorite book, FanDuel? We'll do FanDuel. One of the defense gets the first touchdown. That's the bold take. That is a bold take and a half. It says right here the favorites to get first touchdown. Christian McCaffrey's plus 350. That's absurd. Brees Hall plus 700. Garrett Wilson plus 1,000. Debo plus 850 and Brandon Ayuk plus 1,100. Kittle at plus 1,000. I think Juwan Jennings at plus 1,900 is pretty decent. What about Jordan Mason? Now they're not going to put him at the goal line. I think Hall is a good bet. I mean, you're getting Hall. If the Jets are going to score a touchdown, Aaron Jones did very well with Aaron Rodgers. Running backs did do well. He got them there. Aaron Rodgers does like to sling the rock, but if we're going to be a first touchdown scorer, I feel like going running backs is always a good idea in my opinion. But we can go through last year and we could see how many rushing touchdowns did the 49ers allow. They allowed 8, which is kind of middle of the pack, lower end. And as far as receiving touchdowns, they allowed 17, which was the 6th most. Maybe we do go wide receiver here. You don't like Garrett Wilson, you want to go Lazard. Lazard's interesting. Was Lazard was there with Rodgers, right? He had to be. Yeah. 5 years, 8 touchdowns his last. That's a great. That actually slipped my mind, went over my head. But Lazard being at plus 2,700 is actually somewhat decent. Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to tell me twice. I think Garrett Wilson can be a great decoy. I think he knows what Lazard likes. Lazard was great that last year. Honestly, that could be really sneaky. At 27 to 1. Yeah, I like the value. You could probably sprinkle both. I kind of want to go Juwan Jennings for the 49ers. I feel like he's mispriced there. He's really interesting in the red zone. I guess we're picking the Jets to score twice. I guess it's 2013 Jets. That's probably a decent correct score there. All right, we have to come up as a team here, though. I like the Lazard look at plus 2,700. I mean, how could you not? I mean, I'm gonna see what the odds are on DraftKings right here for first touchdown scorer. Lazard is 35 to 1 plus 3,500 on DraftKings. That is absolutely fantastic. I think we have to bet that just out of principle. Whoever put that in here in the nugget in the chat, that was a great nugget. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to see if I can find all the odds here. But Odds Jam is really letting me down right now. I'm not going to lie. I see first half anytime, and that's literally it. Yeah, I'm done looking. I'm done looking. But 35 to 1 is what I see. Former Packers. Yeah, I mean, I say we do it. I'm going to check one more book. I'll check MGM to see what the odds are. I honestly doubt they beat 35 to 1, but I think that's where we're going. Action Network is better for props. For odds, I don't know. I really like the product the Odds Jam has. I'm not affiliated, don't have a promo code, don't have anything. I mean, if you want to talk about money, though, it is a lot of money. Probably not worth the money. Yeah, MGM is plus 2,500. Plus 4,000 on Hard Rock is crazy. And what does Caesars have? What does Caesars have? I'm gonna check Caesars and Bet 365, and we will call it a day. And we'll talk about some other props. They have last touchdown score? Oh, first touchdown scorer. They have Lazard at 25. It seems like 25 to 27 seems to be the market on Lazard. So 4,000 and 3,500 is pretty crazy, all things considering. Touchdown scorers, first touchdown, 3,300 on Bet365. So plus 4,000 on Hard Rock and plus 3,500 on DraftKings. I'm going to make that a nice little banner here. Allen Lazard, first TD, plus 4,000 Hard Rock. There it is. That is our squad ride first touchdown. I mean, I really like that. I'm not going to lie. Let me know in the comments if you want to bet somebody else. Someone's going to say I told you it was CMC once we're done here, but this is a value play for sure. And talking through the game, I'm seeing a lot of fading Mike Williams given his workload, fading Brandon Ayuk given his possible workload as well. I do think that betting a wide receiver against the Niners and with Aaron Rodgers is actually a good idea. So if Mike Williams is out, the popular play is going to be Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson, you're okay with living and dying by that. You know, I think Garrett Wilson will be a good, maybe not his yards, but his receptions at 5.5 is minus 160. That is a good parlay piece, in my opinion. I think he's obviously the guy, and it's particularly not close. Tyler Conklin also has a 3.5 receptions line. So given his receptions line, 28.5 may be worth it, considering they think he gets 3 to 4 catches. And honestly, with Aaron Rodgers playing to tight ends, usually it's a little bit deeper across the middle to tight end. You'll find his guy with 28.5 for Tyler Conklin is also pretty sneaky. And if you do think the Jets are, if you think the Jets are going to be losing this game, then obviously more the reason for receiving yards or whatever that may be, or reception. So honestly, you could go. Everyone's fading Mike Williams, so Garrett Wilson. It leaves Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin, and I guess Lazard. I think he's more of a deep threat. Um, and I guess Brees Hall in the passing game. I wouldn't do his rushing yards, but I wonder his receptions are probably 3.5, 4.5. Yeah, it's 4.5 plus 112. If you think Brees Hall gets 4 catches, it's hard not to take his receiving yards. That's just my personal opinion. Brees Hall, when he has 4 catches, I'd assume gets that a lot. And if he had 3 catches, 13, 3, 7, 5 for 54, 6 for 76, 4 for 10 versus the Chargers last year. But most of the time he had 24 and up with 4+ receptions. I'd probably go yards, but if you do think he gets 4 receptions, or gets the targets and gets the checkdowns, then that's by all means a very solid bet. I do think Garrett Wilson on his receptions and receiving yards is probably a solid find. And as far as the 49ers go, if Brandon Ayuk is still whatever, they could get a little cheeky with Debo. I know his rush attempts, he has rushing yards and rushing attempts lines. We do know that the Niners are usually more conservative in letting Debo rush until basically the playoffs or later on, just for injury concerns, because he does handle a ton of work. So if Ayuk is definitely going to not be on the field as much and running as many routes, I assume Debo doesn't run the ball, but it also could mean that they could be a little cheeky. Week 1, they probably have a few design plays, but I don't think it's more than 1 or 2, maybe 2, maybe something early on. I really don't know. But George Kittle at 3.5 receptions, minus 140, looks very decent. I know it's going to be tough to throw the ball or do anything against this Jets defense, but going through and looking at what they allowed last year, I mean, you could talk about how good they were overall in general, really kept them in games. Running back, rushing yards, the New York Jets allowed a ton. That's mainly because they were losing. If you want to really get into the swing of thing, it's because they were down a lot. You know, Garrett Wilson, a ton of QB issues, and they were losing a lot. So teams were running on them towards the end. But their wide receivers, they really did lock down wide receivers. They allowed the fewest receiving yards. So I mean, CMC is going to be in for a big workload. I assume they want to get the ball rolling. If CMC is dealing with that injury, I know he's off the injury report for now and he's back to a regular workload. But if Jordan Mason props do become available, that's something that really interests me. Maybe his attempts line. I don't think he has an attempts line right now. I know Debo has a 2.5 rushing attempts line. I would love to see Jordan Mason. And honestly, McCaffrey at 15.5 on FanDuel right now is sticking out to me because if they are winning and they do it like his workload, I think he does still cover 15.5. That's just my opinion. Do you like any first quarter, first half props? I'd probably lean the first half under. I really think this is more of like a slow pace game, kind of just wonky. Um, a lot of field goals. I think the 49ers are going to have to run the ball a lot and keep the ground game going. So I think a lot of clock is taken off. The Jets, I think, also need to establish that run game to make Aaron Rodgers more dangerous. This is as good of a game as we're going to get, but as a week one last game, prime time, I do expect an ugly game. That's just my opinion. I'm on just both kicker props. I may sneak out a McCaffrey rush attempts or Jordan Mason. I may wait a little later, see what I like. I do think if you're going to go the Jets, you take Garrett Wilson, maybe Tyler Conklin. And that's basically it. I don't think you go too heavy on this game. It's a low total. So if you're doing those crazy lottos, this low total probably is not it. And we'll wait again for next week. But it is football. We want to bet on it. We want to have fun. So that is it for me today. I'm on both kicker props. We have our squad ride, first touchdown, which is Alan Lazard, first touchdown plus 4,000. And again, as always, I say this all the time on this show. I almost forgot to do it today, but we have a huge sponsor. Shout out to my partners at DraftKings. Pick Six. New users, you play $5, you get $50 instantly in Pick Six credits, and you get 1 month on them of Red Zone and NFL Network. That's for new Pick Six players. Check the link in the description, and I'll post a quote tweet with our first touchdown score squad ride as well. Thank you for watching. Best of luck in your bets today, and go tackle this Monday and go be great. See you guys next week. Peace out.